All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as you've heard before, as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development 1111 .NET Framework with Web Databases class, rather than starting with our textbook, I am first going over a series of 12 articles, chapters, sections, whatever you want to call them, from DotNetOdyessy.com. A little thing here that's called ASP.NET MVC5 free course. And so far I've gone through chapter 1, which was kind of a intro chapter, chapter 2, where we built our first ASP.NET MVC application, and we just finished up with chapter 3 on views and Razor, which brings us to chapter 4, which, as you can see, is on layout. All right. Layout brings you the consistent structure across all web pages of the application and results in a better user experience. Here we will learn how to use layout in ASP.NET MVC. All right. So let's start on that. So far we've done 1, 2, and 3. Let's bring up 4. All right. As it says here, while adding a view for the index method, we have unchecked the use a layout page so far. That's what we have done. We have unchecked this option as we don't know what a layout page is. In other words, we haven't created one previously, so we're going to. It says add another action method called Movie of the Month, which is going to show the highest rated movie of the month. All right. So what we're going to do, let's see, make sure I'm doing this correctly. All right, so it says I have added the code below to the movie controller. Fine. We'll grab this. That's just fine. So we want to go back to our movie controller, which is here. All right, which right now has just our action result there in it. Now we're adding a new method. Notice it's also returning an action result. All right, movie of the month. So we're told here we should right-click inside of it, choose Add View. Now make sure Use a Layout Play is unchecked. All right, and that'll generate this code for us. Let's double-check and make sure that happens. All right. So again, we are going to right-mouse click on here, choose Add View, which is called Movie of the Month, empty. We don't want the layout page. Add. So now we have yet another .cshtml file, this one called Movie of the Month. All right. Looks just like the other one did originally, except the title's different. We can go in there and manually change it, just the title, so we can pretty it up a bit. All right. So the author says, I have added the user code below in the view within the above div. So within the div to show the movie of the month to the user. All right. Well, notice Shawshank Redemption was ranked number 1, so that should be the one. Okay. So if we've done this, if we do this correctly, it should come back and say Movie of the Month, Shawshank Redemption. All right. Now, if we just put in what they're showing right here, if I just put in that and nothing else, so inside of the div here, oh, wrong file. Inside of the div right here, I think I'm going to get an error. Maybe I won't. I thought I was maybe missing something. So let me move this onto a couple lines to make it easier to see. All right. Let's double check. So I'm going to do a file save all. And this time, I want to show you something here, okay? And that is, I'm going to right mouse click on my index file, like we've been doing. View in the browser. And you've seen how this looks already. There's going to be nothing new here. I think I said, all right, mouse clicked and shows view in browser. All right, so you've seen this before. This is our movie index, so it should show us our, hopefully if we did it right, it should show us our table of movies. All right. Now we don't want it to show index, we want it to show our movie of the month. So I'm going to change index to movie of the month. Hit enter. There it is. So we just told it from our movie controller, we told it to call a different method. All right. So it says under normal circumstances, you'd be getting this information by querying the database. All right. As our objective is to create the view with dummy data, the author just put it in. Okay. So it says we now have two methods in our movie controller. We've got our index action method, which by default displays a list of all movies in a table or tabular format. And we've got our movie of the month action method, which just displays the top rated movie of the month. It says now we want to show some banner image at the top of each page. We're not doing anything original here. Most websites, including the original IMDb website, has a below section. All right, so in other words, it has something like this. All they're saying is, typically when you're going to lay out a web page, it'll look something like this. You'll have a top section. You may have a side, you may not have a side, and you'll have a content. The side might be over on this side, and the content over here. You may have just content. It doesn't really matter. So, it says to do so in our micro IMDb application, we need to make changes to both pages. In other words, on both the index page and the movie of the month page. It says, think about if we have dozens of these pages. What if we had hundreds of these pages like in Amazon? You'd have to change them all. You don't want to have to do that. So as mentioned right here, layout solves this problem because it's going to define a structure, a way that we want all pages to look, kind of a template for us. As it says, it brings the consistent structure to all pages in the application, and that results in a better user experience. It would almost be as though when we were doing our HTML back in AWD1111, that whenever we finished with a page, we copied that page to our next page and made sure that the head section was exactly the same. All right, and made sure that the top of the body section with the navigation, etc., was the same. That's kind of what we're saying. All right, so let's see an example of how layout is being used in the MSDN website. All right, so the author is saying that's it right there. And as you go across, in fact, let's see. I'm going to try something here. I've not tried this before. Will it work? You'll know when I know. So I'm going to type in https://msdn.microsoft.com. Whoops, sorry. Oops. Yeah. Cancel that. Way too big right now. Let's make it a lot smaller. All right, Microsoft.com/en-us/library/GG416515 parenthesis V equals VS, can't tell if there's a dot there or not, 108. Yes, there is. All right. So let's see if that page will still bring up this page if we put in that URL. Your connection is not private. MS, wow, that's interesting. Oh, because I know why. Okay. Because I spelled Microsoft wrong, it looks like. I put Microsoft. All right. Says we no longer are updating this regularly. Well, how about this? We'll just go to ASP.NET. Okay, I don't even want the /MVC. I just want ASP.NET, period. Well, it's not bringing me that. So, let's see. I think you hopefully are understanding what I'm trying to show you, and that is, okay, Rankin.edu. Okay, no, it's not. There's our menu. Okay, so I'm going to go to I choose Rankin. Okay, I still get my menu up here, and that's pretty much what they're trying to show you. Okay, that was a very roundabout way for me to show you, but hopefully that made some sense. All right, in both of the views that we have right now, we're assigning layout equal to null at the beginning. That's the first line. That's the actual C# code that's in there. All of the information for that page would be rendered from the view itself. So in other words, it's not pulling it out of another file. There's no master files, so to speak. As discussed earlier, if you want to make changes, you need to change every page, which is silly. All right. If you use a layout, you can make changes in the layout, and any page that then depends on that layout will automatically be changed as well. All right. When you select an empty MVC template, it creates a layout for us, but we decided not to choose that because we unchecked it, that use a layout option. All right. So it says, so how can we use the layout now? We want to remove that line which sets the layout to null, so or just comment it out, and then remove all the generic code not specific to the layout. I'm coming up on 15 minutes, so what I'm going to do is break this into 2 lessons, and I'll come back and finish this up with hopefully a fairly short conclusion in just a couple minutes.